The Ukrainian Ambassador to Indonesia, His Excellency Ambassador Vasyl Hamianin, spoke to me on various issues, including issues that are related with 1-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
And this is the second part of the interview. Let's check it out.
Mr. Ambassador, is Ukraine not joining NATO? Is that a compromise that Ukraine could, potentially make or accept?
I would say this, before the full-scale aggression last year, Ukraine was effectively neutral, non-aligned country. Absolutely not joining any alliance or any... No, we were not the members of NATO. We were not even given the promise to be members of NATO. We were not given the perspectives. It's nothing. So we were just, expressing willingness to be a NATO member one day, once upon a time. But it doesn't mean anything. So after that, it doesn't change anything. That's first. Second, NATO is not Russia's concern. And third, I think that it's not Russia's business whether we join EU or NATO or not. Because what they did, the result of Russian aggression is that Finland, Sweden already nearly joined NATO, and Ukraine, Georgia, Moldova are thinking very carefully about that. So, yeah, it's the consequences created by Putin himself.
Now, speaking of President Vladimir Putin, Russia and President Putin have continuously said that the West does not want the war to end, and the West are using Ukraine as a proxy to prolong the conflict. What's your response to this?
Okay, if Ukraine attacked any territory, and then the West, the evil West, is like feeding up and providing weapons and all, this will be the truth. But it's not Ukraine that invaded the other country. It's Russia that invaded us. And we are just resisting. We are just confronting the enemy. That's it. So what do they mean by telling that we are proxy and they don't want the war to end? I don't understand that. Because Russians are champions in propaganda and lies. They create so much sophisticated formulas, and nobody can understand that. But how can people that have the country destroyed, have the hundreds of thousands, I think, of citizens died and badly injured? How would we not want to stop the war? How do not we want to end this and go back to the peaceful life? But the problem is they don't give us the chance. People want to understand, whoever, Ukrainians, So what do we get if we just stop? We'll get endless negotiations, and we still get the occupied territories, where people lived, 8 years in Donbass, 8 years in Crimea before that. It was not an easy time for local people. For example, only solely we take the Crimean Tatars, like Muslim minority of Ukraine. Immediately after occupation, the Majlis Crimean Tatar was banned by Russians. They say it's like terrorist organization and banned. And then they arrested a lot of activists, a lot of religious leaders, a lot of journalists. So it's not an easy way to live under occupation. So I don't think we will stop on that. And we do want this to end as soon as possible.
Of course, and the war has a global, wide-reaching impact to the economy as well. And there's also concerns of escalation. Russia's President Vladimir Putin, just very recently, on the 21st of February, he announced that Russia will suspend the Russia-US nuclear treaty. Russian ambassador to Indonesia, she said that they won't rule out using nuclear weapons to defend themselves. What is your take on this? Is this something that is thin-veiled in your opinion, or does Ukraine firmly believe that Russia could potentially use nuclear arms?
First, may I ask anyone who Russia is going to defend itself from? Who is attacking Russia? Who is fighting on Russian territory? Who? NATO, by the way, was created as the defensive alliance, not offensive. So who is going to offend Russia? It's just geopolitical ambitions of President Putin and some other world leaders who want to counter the leadership of democratic countries, democratic world, and be the make the world bipolar, and balance the world with dictatorships, which nobody wants. But as for the nuclear weapons, there are many reasons to prove that no nuclear conflict will be possible. There are psychological reasons. There are technical reasons. There are procedures. Psychological reasons. Okay, Putin is mad. Do you think that all the people in the Russian government are as mad as to destroy the world, destroy the kids, destroy their lives? I just doubt it very much. They still want the money. They still want the cars in Monaco and villas somewhere in Italy. So they don't want to die, right? Second good reason is technically nuclear weapons that are possessed by Russia, old, 50 years old, 60 years old. So it's very old equipment, and it required maintenance. And the maintenance could be provided only by Ukrainian experts. So regularly before 2014, Ukrainian experts went to Russia and did the maintenance because we produced it. And since 2014, for 9 years already, not a single Ukrainian went to Russia and maintenance. And so I doubt that the whatever missile, of 50 years old, would fly, be not maintenance for 9 years.